Last year I climbed 1,570,000 stairs. This is over 1.5 million. Now, between July 4th, 2010 and July 4th, 2011, I climbed 1,600,000 stairs. My name is Zvi Danenberg. I'm 85-year-old. I'm pretty proud about my age, and it's no secret to divulge it. I've been retired 25 years, and these are the greatest years of my life. I'm AKA, let's see, the latest one is the Lord of the Steps. One lady that couldn't come up with my name, Zvi, that's a tongue twister. She said, I'm going to call you the Stairman. And then one guy that used to be a regular on the steps, he said, no, that's not good enough. I'm bestowing on you the title of a Stairmaster. Now, the one that I like the best, the AKA, is the runner with the crooked hat, because I used to be a runner big time.
We call him Zvi.
I was a fairly sedentary person until I retired in 1985 when I was 60. My working career was as a teacher. I was a high school teacher, and I taught science, physics and general science. I've been married 57 years. I have 3 daughters, and the oldest one's name is Anne. The next one, her name is Eve, and the youngest one, her name is Lynn.
So my dad's history with exercise has been pretty much nothing when I was a child. He was very... he was a couch potato. He didn't do much of anything in terms of exercising. He worked hard, and he had a lot of work to do at home, but he didn't do much in terms of exercise. And then when he retired, which was when he was about 60, I think maybe 61, he got some advice from his doctor that he needed to get more exercise.
I had lower back problems when I joined the leisure class, meaning when I retired. And the doctor told me, one doctor at Kaiser, walk, walk, walk. So I used to walk on what they call the Corte Madera Creek bike path. Miles and miles, and I used to see people that run and say to myself, what's the matter with these crazy people? Don't they have anything better to do than waste their time on running? And one day, after 1.5 years of walking, I ran 100 yards with improper shoes and all this stuff, and I fell in love with it. The next day I went and bought a pair of running shoes, and I put on 4 miles, and the rest is, as they say, is history.
Zvi used to run 9 miles in the morning and 9 miles in the afternoon every day, and he probably started running about the same age as I am now. I think he was working until he took up the sport of running, and I was always impressed that he could do that. I couldn't do that. I mean, I ran a lot, but that was a super lot.
And after 20 years, I logged on 74,000 miles in 20 years of running. There were years that I was putting on 5,000 miles a year. And it was days that it'll be 16 miles a day, 8 in the morning, 8 in the afternoon, and in a week it added up to 96 miles or something like that, which is a lot of miles. So, of course, the knees were paying a price, and after 20 years of it, I needed a major tune-up in my left knee. There was no cartilage left. It started with a torn meniscus and all this stuff, but the orthopedic surgeon told me, it's more serious than this. You don't have any cartilage left. So he recommended that I have knee replacement, and then I had knee replacement in April of 2007. In my mind, I thought, well, the admonition was you can't run anymore, but you can walk. That's all right. So anyway, after that, I started walking within the period of rehabilitation. And then I discovered the steps. I knew that they existed, but I wasn't a serious climber on the Art Street steps. And then I started the regime. I wouldn't call it a regime. I started the exercise in earnest here. And I built up the step climbing over a period of, let's see, 2.5 years to 3,000 steps every morning. The steps I'm talking about are steps in Larkspur. They're known as the Art Street steps, and there are 139 of them from the bottom to way to the top, and it's a different world than the world of runners.
Zvi is over the top. You can be doing the stairs and be feeling like, oh, I'm getting tired and I've got to stop. And then you think about Zvi and you think, wow, he's over 80 years old and he's doing 20, 30 stairs at a time, sometimes twice a day. You can do more stairs.
The year of the surgery, I think I logged 180,000 steps. I think 183,000, something like this. A year later, in 2008, I had 737,000 steps, and that means going up, and then another 737,000 going down. In 2009, I did 1 million steps in less than 10 months. By October the 27th of 2009, I had 1 million, and for the whole year of 2009, I had 1,200,000. And now we come to 2010, and I had 1 million steps just climbing. 1 million steps by August the 23rd of 2010, and I had 1.5 million stairs or steps, Arch Street steps. In 2010, I had it in December 13 of 2010. This is barely 2 weeks ago. So by the end of this year, I'll probably have a little bit over 1.5 million stairs.
He also loves to share with us his milestones on the stairs. When he hits a certain milestone, he comes with chalk, and he'll write his name on the stair, and Zvi has climbed X amount of stairs, 10,000, 3 million, whatever it is, and so it's cute. You come a couple days later and you see his little pink chalk on a stair. It gives you inspiration.
Number one, I'm now known as the Lord of the Steps, also the Stairmaster. And whenever I go up and down, people start talking to me about the steps, and I look at them and I say, believe me, there's more to me than climbing steps. And they say, oh, we're pretty sure there's more to you than climbing steps. And then I start telling them about classical music. This is my record collection, and this is my record room. And in English they say, this is it. In Arabic they say, Adahu, and this is it. This season, 2010-2011, I'm scheduled to go to 48 concerts. There's one weekend in February that I have a Friday concert, a Saturday concert, a Sunday concert, and a Monday concert. And I hope that I'll be able to survive it. I'm pretty sure that I will. You can see there's a section of Beethoven right here, and there's a section of Mozart right here. There's a section of Bach right here. And then it's arranged more or less alphabetically. Chopin and Dvorak, and you have Handel here. Yeah, right here is Mahler. No, excuse me. No, Mahler, I have to use either a ladder or a chair to reach them. Mahler is way up there. Maurice Ravel, and he was a French composer. Rossini was an Italian. He wrote bubbly music, very much champagne-like. And right here is Schubert. We're coming to Schubert. These are LPs that I've heard more than twice. This section right here, this one right here is Wagner. And look at this album. I think it has, oh my God, this is heavy. All right, I keep score of how many records I have. And I have here, I have a list that's LPs and CDs and 78s that I have stuck away. I haven't heard them in years and years. And then, let's see, what else? And what they call reel-to-reel tapes. And I call it LP equivalent or CD equivalent according to the time that they have there. So I have here about 26,639, and there's another, gee, how did I get 26,000?
He has a very numerically oriented mind. He's very, very good with numbers.
Yeah, I made a mistake here. Oh, no wonder. Okay.
He's I guess it's the left brain. He's definitely got that down without a doubt. And so I think that process of keeping track of the numbers and both in his head, and then I know he has records of it at home as well. It's part of who he is, and in some ways it's comforting and is helpful for him as well.
I have 3 categories. Just classical CDs and LPs, 21,639. Well, 25,722, 28. Well, these numbers are confusing. You better delete that.
He is absolutely a numbers guy.
Let's go first to the CDs. Right now, I have a count of CDs as of yesterday, Monday, the 15th of November, 2010. It is 7779, 7,779. And I usually write in the title, whether it's a symphony. This happens to be, it's called Bad Boys. And it's the bad boys in opera. You know, they're mean, they cause trouble. And anyway, the singer, he's a Welsh singer. His name is Bryn Terfel. And I and my daughter are going to hear him this coming Saturday at Zellerbach Hall. And he's a riot. The first question I'll ask people that visit, is there any particular piece of music you like to hear? Classical music or ethnic music? And usually they say, well, we wouldn't know where to start. I say, how about you? Do you have any favorite pieces of music? And I usually will put on 2 or 3 of them. One of them is my favorite Tchaikovsky piece of music, which comes from the Nutcracker Ballet, and it's Pas de Deux. It's called Tableau number 14. It's a catharsis. Every time I hear it, I'm on the verge of crying. So touching your heart. I love what I'm doing. It's not a chore. I mean, it's not in my dictionary that you don't feel like doing it. I do the steps rain or shine. I'm a man for all seasons. Sometimes when I start my exercise, it'll be like 5 o'clock. Well, in the summertime, 5 o'clock, 5:15, it's the break of dawn. But now in December, it's pretty dark. So sometimes I'll put on a reflecting vest, which is orange, and street crews that work on potholes and things like this, they wear it and I wear it too. Fortunately, on the steps, you have street lights. You have it at the first landing and then you have it way up on the top, and that helps quite a bit. It throws quite a bit of light on the steps. So I do it in the dark too, and the joy is still there. That's the important thing, you know. I'm not cussing. Incidentally, I should mention that at age 85, I do not have the balance that I used to have. So when I go up on the steps, I take 2 steps at a time. And when I take 2 steps at a time going up, I have to hold on to the railing because of the deterioration in my sense of balance. Coming down, I take 1 step at a time, and I go fairly fast, and I don't have to use the railing. So anyway, these are some tidbits about my steps and doing them in the dark. And of course, in the afternoon, it's still the same story, or later in the morning, it's still the same story, going up, and 2 steps at a time, I have to hold on to the railing, and no apologies. I mean, I sometimes try to tell people the reason why I'm doing it, and they say, doing what you're doing is, you can hold on to the railing with both hands, and it's still a good job. Anyway.
A role model for fitness and exercise, Zvi Danenberg is 86 years old. He's been a Larkspur resident for 47 years. Since July 2010, he has climbed over 1.5 million steps on the arch steps of Larkspur. This is his daily effort. He's earned the title, the Lord of the Steps. Truly our fitness inspiration.
I hear this word inspiration very often, almost daily, especially from people that don't know me, that I run into the first time. They'll tell me that you're an inspiration, and old-timers will tell me, you're my hero, you're my inspiration, you're my role model. It makes me feel good, but my idea is that I'm doing this thing because it's a joy to me. It gives me a sense that I'm alive.
I just think a friendly nature is in itself inspiring. It inspires me to greet people I see, throughout my day. You can very quickly pass by people and not even notice that they're there. And Zvi notices everyone, and is comments and says keep going, or I see a difference in you since you've started this. Good job. And he's just very, very inspirational in that way. Just notice the people in your day and greet them and say thank you, and just be encouraging, be optimistic, because that's who he is.
One of the remarkable things about Zvi is how well he remembers people and remembers the events that people have in their lives, including what their kids were doing, what they were doing. He's a guy who can talk to you about almost anything, and does, as a matter of fact.
He's just a Renaissance man. He's the kind of guy that you can talk to about the ballet, art, music, history, politics. I have never walked away from here and not learned something from Zvi. Clearly he's just the neatest guy, really neat guy.
My nature is that I'm very friendly with people, and after a while I look them straight in the eye and smile at them, and I'll say good morning to them. And in most cases, they respond. And if they don't respond, you keep saying good morning to them, and finally you wear them down.
One day, Zvi and I were we were just walking and down Magnolia, and he waved to somebody, and I said, "Oh my goodness, those people didn't wave back." And he said, "Who cares, Mary? A wave or a handshake doesn't cost anything." And so now I just always remember that, you know. And when he says, "Do you know so and so?" and I'll say, "Oh yes, I introduced myself," he's so excited because, you know, I think he feels good that he's reminded us to be considerate and sociable. People need a hello, and they need to be reminded to stop and give some kind of communication, and that's the one thing people have forgotten to do, and Zvi has reminded us.
So anyway, my plate is always full. And the only problem I have is there's not enough time. I wish there were 36 hours in a day instead of the regular 24, you know. Well, anyway, it's been a great life. I mean, I really enjoy my life to the hilt.